Greetings, indulgers of anime. Who's ready for the most self-indulgent power fantasy in ages? Side note. If you can think of an even bigger self-indulgent power fantasy, type it in the comments and I'll recap it. Yuya is a fat, ugly dork with no friends and parents who dislike him for being so fat and dorky. He also has two pretty and smart younger siblings who despise him for sharing their blood. This is all stated by him, by the way. Life is pretty rubbish for Yuya. He lives alone in a home left to him by his late grandfather, the only person ever to like him, and works a part-time job to feed him. One day, on his way to work, Yuya steps in to protect a young girl being bullied by a group of men. They insult him and pound him, but our rotund friend chooses not to back down. Due to this, he is fired from his job for lateness. After the incident, Yuya's life story is revealed, detailing his experiences with bullying and being rejected. His kind-hearted grandfather who raised him instilled in him the importance of kindness and helping those in need. Injurious graffiti has been written on Yuya's house, depicting the constant suffering he endures. Super down in the dumps, he goes for a look around the house, unintentionally stumbling into a secret room filled with enigmatic objects, likely souvenirs from his grandfather's adventures. He discovers a mysterious door that appears to lead into a different world. With caution, he enters this world and soon realizes that it functions very similar to an RPG game. Just RPG game. I promise I'm cool, guys. Yuya comes across a note describing a transfer of ownership and the protective enchantments guarding the house and is intrigued by the magical potential. Yuya comes across lethal weapons, perilous artifacts to which he tests them out. From nowhere, a huge monster comes charging to him, but it is unable to get into the garden thanks to the shield around it. So, using the unfair advantage, Yuya kills it, savage. This results in his low stats surging up and he receives useful item drops. After enough play, he heads back to the real world. But it doesn't end there, as during his sleep his body undergoes a strange transformation. The next day, he realizes his physical appearance has changed. He's been Hemsworthed. As sexy Yuya enters high school, he continues to stun everyone with his glow-up, attracting endless attention and admiration. Even his siblings are surprised by his striking transformation. Unbeknownst to his tormentors, Yuya appears to them in a completely different light. Questions about his transformation were raised during interactions with his brother and sister, which provided the impetus for more investigation. When a posh car pulls up, the story takes an unexpected turn as the girl Yuya had previously assisted is revealed. He saved the girl, and now she's looking for him. Kaori reveals her identity to him and reminds him of the time he saved her. Yuya is invited to enroll in the Josie Academy by the woman. Yuya recognizes it as a super elite academy. Kaori's father is the academy chairman, and she serves on the student council. Although honored, Yuya keeps it real and doesn't believe he is intelligent enough to join. Kaori, on the other hand, thinks he is unique and ought to attempt to spend a day at the academy. His sister and brother both claim that they are superior to him in academics, athletics, and Instagram follower counts when his brother approaches and requests permission to enroll in the academy. Kaori rejects this and claims they weren't nice to him when he was down. She admits to them that she was aware of all the wrongdoing they had committed against Yuya, including libel and bullying. She continues by assuring him not to worry because he would not have a problem getting into the school because the academy makes awards based on personality. His siblings are unable to comprehend how his life has changed so drastically as she pulls him away. Yuya meets with Tsukasa, the academy's chairman, who extends an invitation to enroll permanently and expresses gratitude for saving his daughter from those thugs who might have done something bad to her. He also reassures him that he would get used to the benefits of attending the school and that he shouldn't feel inferior for doing so. He is introduced to the instructor before inviting him to enroll in the class. Initially, hesitant, Yuya's patist has him worry, unsure if the other students would like him. Yuya, a student at the academy, is taken aback by how involved and active the students are in class. Students approach him during recess and inquire about his status as an idol or girlfriend. He befriends students Ryo and Shingo, with whom he converses on a range of subjects. He and his new friend enter the cafeteria, and as they stand to eat, he notices the majority of students staring at him. After a satisfying experience, Yuya chooses to remain. As he makes his way back to his house, he worries about a girl he had saved and if she is safe, but he casts that aside as it's time for him to get some new drip. At the mall, he attracts attention from the public who think he is an actor or model. In Isekai world, a princess named Lexia travels to a strange territory as she makes the decision to go back to the dark forest in search of the person who had saved her. Girls approach Yuya, love-struck, as he browses different stores. He politely declines their advances, leaving them mesmerized by his presence. He's a better man than me, that's all I'm saying. A problem arises when the photographer for a modeling photo shoot is left without a model. Yuya steals the director's attention and is approached to fill in as a stand-in model for a couple-themed photo session. I mean, come on. Overwhelmed by nerves and awkwardness, Yuya nonetheless gives his best effort during the shoot. Throughout the session, interactions between Yuya and Mayu, the female model, unfold. A twist occurred when the missing model Sho appears, leading to tension between him and Miyu. Yuya intervenes when Sho's behavior crosses into dick territory, earning the admiration of onlookers. As the shoot concluded, Yuya engages in a conversation with Miyu, discussing topics ranging from modeling to life aspirations. While delving into their interests and reasons for pursuing modeling, a pivotal moment unfolds when the male model confronted Miyu aggressively. Yuya promptly stepped in to protect her, earning applause from bystanders and ensuring the guy's removal from the scene. The director expresses gratitude and extends an offer for Yuya to become a model, an opportunity he hesitates to accept, uncertain of his suitability. As a gesture of appreciation, the director gifts Yuya with free clothes. Light-hearted banter ensues during their car ride as the director playfully teases him while blushing. Later, as Yuya organizes his new drip, images from the photo shoot circulate, capturing the attention of an ambitious representative from a modeling agency. Eager to secure him as a sign before other agencies, she pursues Yuya vigorously. In the Isekai world, Lexia's knights engaged in battle against goblins, and Yuya showcased his prowess by effortlessly defeating them. Lexia approaches him, expressing gratitude before surprising everyone by proposing marriage to him. Overwhelmed by her affection for Yuya, Lexia's proposal stunned those in her presence. Owen, one of Lexia's knights, advised careful consideration due to her royal status, but Lexia remained steadfast in her assertion that it was love at first sight. Like, can you even call Yuya Chad at this point? I wouldn't even call him a Giga Chad. I think Yuya is a Giga Chad that has ascended past a Giga Chad. A Giga Chad squared. Lexia insists she wants to marry him, leaving everyone in shock. Yuya invites them to his house in the forest where he lives, and introductions are made. Lexia expresses her gratitude for saving her twice and proposes to be friends. Yuya becomes a little nervous while he thinks about his previous situation and lifestyle, but later agrees to be her friend. Owen announces the king's desire for Yuya to visit the royal palace, which he accepts reluctantly. In another location, a masked man discusses his failed attempt to harm Lexia and swears revenge. We find he's a member of the royal family trying to end her life with the use of assassins. Fortunately, they were all chased away by the monsters. Back in Yuya, our shitty reality, Yuya encounters his friends Ryo and Shingo and gets invited to play football. Yes, football. I'm British. That's what it's called. During a match, the ball falls to Yuya and he flexes a little, prompting Kaide to ask why he's not playing in the match. Suddenly, delinquents from the Red Ogre's gang arrive, targeting Kaori. Oh, and Yuya's trash siblings are there too. Yuya recognizes the situation and briefly hesitates, but intervenes, with a badass entrance befitting of a main character, saving Kaori from the gang's attack. He confronts his old bully and disarms his gang members effortlessly. Yuya's determination and prowess leave an impact, and the delinquents are arrested. Kaori, grateful for Yuya's intervention, has a moment with him. Meanwhile, Yuya's siblings reflect on their actions and express remorse. Yuya forgives them, considering them family despite their past behavior. They were both grateful that even though they had been wicked to him, he still tried to help them. Yuya agrees to visit the capital to meet the king, officially starts school, and adopts a powerful dog-like creature named Night. Yuya goes exploring in the other world's dangerous dark forest and is reminded by Owen about its perilous nature. Like anything is going to happen to him, he encounters a glowing puppy being attacked by an orc, and despite initial hesitation, Yuya intervenes and engages with the orc, a higher level than him. It takes a while, but Yuya smokes it, becoming even stronger in the process. He names the puppy Night and takes it home because it has nowhere to go. He discovers new weaponry as a result of the orc he turned into a donut. Back in the real world, Yuya crosses paths with Yu and introduces Night to Kaori, his friend. After crossing paths with Mew, he introduces the two of them. Onlookers are even more stunned that he's rolling with two baddies. While on a walk, he saves Kaori from a thief and is applauded by the crowd. Can I also add that Night is a total pet Chad, chasing the thief and bring it back. Night proves he's a rider as they face monsters in the dark forest. They come across a crystal deer, and despite a fierce battle, Yuya and Night emerge victorious. Later, they find a mysterious box containing a portable bath. Intrigued by the item, Yuya returns home to use it and relaxes with Night. The next day, they encounter a fast-moving monster called a needle roller and conquer it. While exploring a cave, Yuya discovers a book that belonged to the sage. Yuya, immersed in the Book of Sage, discovers that Sage possessed extraordinary abilities and commanded every skill imaginable, from painting to martial arts. Despite his unmatched powers, Sage refused to join the realm of God, preferring the company of humans. Sages might make people fearful, causing them to avoid him, yet Sage wanted Yuya to understand the value of friendship and companionship, a lesson Yuya finds difficult due to his history of isolation. Sage shares his past of loneliness and eventual death, imparting life lessons. Sage's revelations trigger a magical transformation within Yuya, as words from the book embed themselves within him, enhancing his abilities. Of course they do. Yuya begins to study the pathways of magic in his body and learns to harness its power. He successfully conjures water, igniting his magical prowess. Meanwhile, Night and Yuya discuss a peculiar stranger from another world, and King's anger escalates when he mistakenly blames Yuya for his daughter's actions, which makes him destroy the things in the palace. The teacher announces an outdoor camping trip, which is a form of assignment for the class. Yuya's friends plan for the camping trip, and with Kaori's help, they embark on a shopping spree. A quick detour to play an arcade game allows Yuya's to showcase more of his unique talent, and they continue shopping with Kaori's guidance. News of a fire forces an evacuation, but Yuya stays behind to rescue his unconscious friends on the 13th floor. Using his magic, Yuya braves the flames, saves his friends, and constructs a protective shelter as the building collapses around them. After the ordeal, Yuya's actions earned respect and gratitude from his friends, even Kaori's father. However, Yuya still grapples with unfamiliar feelings of family and love. Returning home, he encounters Night, and they prepare for a forest feast. In another scene, a rabbit is attacked by arrows from a mysterious girl, the divine archer, who seeks to destroy the world. The story continues with Yuya studying the Book of Sage, now teaching him to use magic with his imagination. His magical energy has increased, granting him the ability to perform real magic. He can create vivid images of specific places and transport him and Night. Yuya and Night find themselves in a forest after successfully using the magic. Yuya is amazed at how quickly and accurately his magic works, and he's excited to use it to gather food for the night and explore new places. He sets off to explore the forest. During their exploration, Yuya and Night encounter two orcs. Yuya swiftly defeats them with his sword, and they discover relics that are not ordinary. Yuya collects these relics and stores them in his magic item box for later use. Despite Night's eagerness to continue exploring, Yuya decides to head back as his responsibilities in the field need attention. However, Night still wants to explore and continues to move ahead. Night leads Yuya to a specific location and advises him to use invisible magic. Yuya follows Night's suggestion and becomes invisible. They observe a fierce battle between a girl and several monsters. The girl is putting up a valiant fight, but she is eventually overwhelmed. Yuya and Night intervene, defeating the monsters and rescuing the girl. The girl, Luna, is mysterious and thanks Yuya for saving her. Luna explains that she is here for training and offers her assistance in helping Yuya. She wants to join his training to become stronger. Yuya agrees, and they begin training together. Luna's unique combat skills impress Yuya, and he gains valuable insights from her techniques. As they train, their bond grows stronger, and Luna expresses her desire to learn from Yuya's experiences. Clap her cheeks, my bro! The next day, Yuya and his friends embark on a field trip. Yuya, tired from his training with Luna, falls asleep on the bus. The teacher informs the students that they will need to forage for mushrooms and wild vegetables for their meals during the trip. Akira, one of Yuya's friends, suggests caution due to the potential dangers of poisonous mushrooms. Yuya and Akira are assigned the task of catching fish from a stream for their meal. Yuya uses his magical power to create an isolated area for fishing and successfully catches plenty of fish. He reflects on Luna's advice about understanding opponents' moves before engaging them. Meanwhile, Luna practices using her deadly threads to defeat statues and further enhance her skills. Rin is surprised to hear that Yuya caught the fish with his bare hands, and they discuss their success. Meanwhile, Anita's moaning catches their attention, and Rin advises them to ignore him, as it's meant for her. They discuss what could be happening. Turns out the bozo ate a poisonous mushroom. Yuya examines Akira and finds that he's not poison. They gather various vegetables and proceed to the second procedure, where they need to check the items with Miss Sawada. Yuya meets Kaori, the chairman's daughter, and talks with her. Miss Sawada is impressed with their gathered vegetables and informs them of the upcoming main exam, where they need to prepare a meal. Yuya takes on the responsibility of cooking, shocking everyone with his chef skills. I mean, at this point, is it really a shock? Even Miss Sawada is impressed with his cooking. She jokingly proposes to marry him, and Kita tries to save Yuya from Sawada's advances. Later, Yuya returns home tonight and reflects on the events of the day. The next day, during a forest excursion, they face a bear attack. Yuya bravely confronts the bear to protect Sawada, and the police arrive to handle the situation. They decide to use the bear as a guard. Putin would be proud. Back at their training, after destroying some NPC monsters, Yuya finds a mysterious mask and wears it. Princess Lexia and her knight arrive and identify Yuya. Out of nowhere, Knight pushes Lexia, with Yuya also intervening to save them from a falling tree. Luna, who was responsible for the attack, is found unconscious. Lexia gives permission for Luna to be taken to Yuya's house, and they teleport there. Yuya explains some of his backstory to the princess, resulting in her scolding him as using forbidden transportation magic is forbidden. This is because it raises concerns about its potential impact on their society. Luna joins in on story time and unveils her history as an orphan surviving through criminal activities. Her master, an assassin, trained her in various skills, leading her into a life of crime. She eventually became known as the Headhunter due to her prowess. However, when her assassination attempt on the princess fails, Luna's past catches up to her and she faces potential execution. The princess offers Luna an alternative: to serve as her personal guard and work to redeem herself. Luna hesitates due to her criminal past and feelings of unworthiness, but Lexia insists on granting her a chance at redemption. Luna's acceptance of the offer brings her into the group, leading to a mix of tension and curiosity among the members. As the group journey forward, Yuya takes a moment to bathe and relax with his newly tamed magical companion, Akatsuki, whom he affectionately names based on its appearance. Yuya then becomes aware that he's running late for an event in his world, pulling him back to his responsibilities there. Upon returning to his world, Yuya rushes to school for a sports competition. During a football match, Yuya utilizes his S-rank stats as a goalkeeper, astonishing both his teammates and opponents. Amid these events, a mysterious woman appears near the school. Yuya's friends are surprised to see him competing in the academy's ball sports competition, specifically in the ping pong event, as they expected him to participate in football or basketball due to his exceptional feats in those sports. Yuya himself is uncertain about his skills in ping pong but is determined to give his best effort. Walking home from school, they encounter a man who hands Yuya his business card and offers him a chance in the entertainment industry. Not that kind. Yuya's friends and even the talent manager are surprised when he quickly declines the offer. Despite the potential to meet famous voice actors and cosplayers, Yuya values his normal high school life more. Yuya's rejection prompts the manager's boss to reprimand her for not securing such a promising prospect. At this moment, a supermodel named Neo intervenes, defending Yuya from the manager's pushiness. Neo's presence surprises everyone, and Yuya knows her from a brief past encounter, though he downplays their connection. The director presents a magazine preview featuring Yuya and Neo on the front page, much to everyone's shock. Neo apologizes for her boss's behavior, and a gust of wind reveals a poster for the upcoming ball sports competition. Kaori rushes to pick up the poster, but Yuya beats her to it, sparking a conversation about promoting the competition as part of their student council duties. Yuya and Kaori discuss their roles in promoting the event, leading the director to suggest using Yuya's pictures for a special magazine edition. Intrigued by this idea, she proposes it to the chairman's office. Meanwhile, Izumi follows Neo and the director, while Yuya heads back to the fantasy world to continue exploring with Knight and Akatsuki. In the fantasy realm, Yuya and Knight battle some skeletons. Yuya discovers the hard black tree, known for its sturdy stem, which requires special elf spirit magic or dwarven techniques for processing. In another encounter, Yuya faces a tough level 10 boar and struggles to overcome it. His fight is interrupted by Usagi, a white rabbit with divine status, who defeats the boar with powerful kicks. Usagi offers to train Yuya against future malevolent beings that use malice to cause death and decay, as she seeks his magical knowledge in exchange. Yuya agrees. Undergoing training, he acquires new skills, finally reaching Giga Chad Cube. Back in his world, he excels in sports like ping pong, volleyball and tennis, winning matches with exceptional abilities. After the events, he shares a surprising moment with Kaori. The magazine director is greatly impressed by Yuya's photo shoot for the special issue. As she reviews the shots, she envisions the positive response they will receive upon publication. The possibility of readers recognizing Yuya from a previous feature intrigues her. Despite speculation about other agencies pursuing him, the director remains confident in her plan to attract Yuya to their agency, given her role in orchestrating the feature article. The next day, Akatsuki and Knight relax while Kaori and Yuya grow closer during a study session at his house. Coincidentally, Kaori helps Yuya with a question, sparking a reminiscence of how they began studying together. Blushing, Kaori subtly excuses herself to explore his house, probably to find his condoms. Back in the capital city, Lexia's return creates a stir in the royal palace. She reports her safe return to her father, the king, and explains Yuya's absence. Luna, responsible for Lexia's security, takes responsibility for the delay due to an incident. Luna's confession of attempting Lexia's assassination shocks the king, but Lexia intervenes, pleading for Luna's life. Lexia's assertiveness in persuading her father to spare Luna's life is highlighted. Meanwhile, a masked villain seizes the failed assassination attempt as a chance to manipulate events. They plan to exploit Yuya's unfamiliarity with the world to frame him for their own purposes, using a powerful magic ceiling barrier to sow chaos within the kingdom. Returning to Yuya's perspective, he takes advantage of a school holiday to explore the fantasy world. Encountering a sleeping sheep, he collects its dropped loot, including paradise betting. Yuya's journey leads him to the royal capital, where he visits the merchant guild. Presenting ground pepper from his world to the guildmaster, Yuya's unique item is met with astonishment. He receives an enticing offer and a merchant guild card for future trades. Because every protag, Kun, in a fantasy world, needs a merchant card for side quests. Yuya's exploration continues to the palace. He sees Owen and is unexpectedly led to the king's hall. However, a miscommunication about Yuya's intentions regarding Lexia leads to a tense confrontation with the king. Yuya's improvised gift sparks interest, but the situation escalates until an ambush activates a magic ceiling barrier. Yuya and his companions fend off the attackers, with Owen discovers evidence pointing to Rhaegar's involvement, the king's older son. The guards converse, shocked to discover Prince Rhaegar's involvement in the turmoil. Overhearing, Yuya recalls Owen seeking his aid to resolve the conflict. He heads to the princess's room to ensure her safety, only to find Lexia already outside, brimming with enthusiasm. She suggests a tour of the royal capital, noting Yuya's distant journey and the opportunity for sightseeing. Luna interjects, Concerned about recent assassination attempts, but Lexia dismisses the worry due to her brother's involvement, Luna proposes taking Yuya on the tour, which Lexia opposes, suspecting Luna's just wants to smash. An argument escalates, and Owen proposes himself as a guide, but both ladies insist on accompanying Yuya. As they stroll, Yuya spots a jeweller's store, and Lexia suggests exploring it, while Luna aims for the nearby smithy. Caught in their dispute, Yuya stands bewildered, drawing the attention of onlookers. They continue encountering the Adventurers Guild sign. Yuya expresses interest in joining Protag, Kun, and whatnot. Inside, Luna and Emilia discuss Yuya's magical abilities, impressing Emilia. Yuya's tests, and as per, his magical energy results in the magic energy sensing crystal ball, shattering, prompting a discussion about how much haki he has. Post-registration, they peruse job notices. Adventurer Glenna approaches Yuya, impressed by his strength and proposing future collaboration. They embark on their first quest for herbs, but Owen reminds Lexia of the ongoing threat. During the quest, they find the swift kill herb, with Yuya collecting some. However, Owen interrupts, announcing Prince Rhaegar's location, leading to a decision to confront him. Yuya faces Prince Rhaegar at an isolated mansion, thwarting his attacks. A mysterious girl intervenes, incapacitating Rhaegar and revealing her intentions whilst comfortably overpowering Yuya. Owen's intervention is halted by an arrow from the girl, who leaves after disrupting her plans. Yuya ponders the mysterious girl's identity. In the human world, Kaori visits Yuya's house, finding him absent after multiple bell rings. Following the apprehension of Prince Rhaegar for his attempt on the lives of the princess and the king, Princess Lexia finds herself concerned that there might be someone more formidable than Yuya in existence. On the contrary, Luna remains hopeful and asserts that the crucial point is that the princess remained unharmed. Meanwhile, Yuya remains haunted by thoughts of the powerful evil girl who has proven to be a considerable challenge for him. In the midst of their contemplations, the captain of the guards arrives to inform them about the discussions concerning Prince Rhaegar's fate. The captain also extends an invitation to Yuya to attend the hearing. Seeking Princess Lexia's approval, Yuya accepts the invitation, leading them all to the throne room. Inside the throne room, the princess is preoccupied with concerns about her brother's potential punishment. Within the throne room, Prince Rhaegar persists in demanding his release. His current state disappoints the king deeply. Despite his protests, the prince's insistence on freedom escalates to the point where his clothing is torn, revealing an assortment of scars and injuries. This revelation shocks the gathered crowd. As Prince Rhaegar notices the shock on his father's face and a peculiar expression in Princess Lexia's eyes, his frustration grows. He perceives pity in her gaze, fueling his anger. He questions the source of his transformation and shifts blame to Princess Lexia's loss of control over her magic, considering it the cause of his affliction. The king and others find this explanation insufficient, as they believe his wound should have healed by now. Agreeing, Prince Rhaegar elaborates that while the wound did heal initially, he was driven to madness by Princess Lexia's overwhelming magical energy, which flooded him like a wave of insanity. This, in turn, triggered a destructive surge within him. His only means of suppressing this destructive urge was to direct it towards his own body, leading to his current condition. He accuses his father of being aware of his suffering but failing to take any action. The king counters that Prince Rhaegar's situation is akin to a curse, which leaves him with no viable options. Dissatisfied with this explanation, the prince contends that his father's choice to isolate him was inadequate. He reveals that since his expulsion from the palace, he has lost control over his destructive impulses towards Princess Lexia, driving him to the brink of desperation to kill her. Describing himself as hideous and deranged, Prince Rhaegar recounts how he became an outcast, unfit for public view, and was practically erased from the royal family. His existence became a living nightmare, a reality he struggled to comprehend. This monologue triggers memories for Yuya, who parallel some of the prince's experiences. Amid Prince Rhaegar's despair, he requests a quick death, finding no purpose in his continued existence. The throne room falls into silence. In response, Yuya raises his hand, seeking permission to address the assembly. The king, however, dismisses him due to his outsider status. Yuya clarifies his intention to attempt something rather than speak. Opening a magical portal, Yuya presents a vial of green liquid. Administering it to the prince, he witnesses a swift and complete healing. The astonished witnesses observe the miraculous transformation. Examining his restored body on a reflective surface, the prince confirms the disappearance of the once hated scar. Yuya attributes the recovery to the rare cure-all herb, astounding the attendees. Recognizing their disbelief, Yuya remembers the herb's legendary scarcity. Grateful for the use of the rare substance, the king acknowledges Yuya's action. Yuya reveals the herb's abundance in his garden, prompting the prince's laughter, who understands his healing doesn't absolve the consequences. Princess Lexia inquires about her brother's crime. Expressing her forgiveness surprises her father, while her brother underscores the complexity. She, however, deems it simple, as she, the victim, forgives him. Persuaded, the king pardons the prince. Princess Alexia extends a renewed friendship to her brother. While his life is spared, he loses his land as punishment. The prince initiates talk about rewarding Yuya, as do Lexia and Luna, with the idea of Yuya marrying Lexia. The prince also proposes a reward, returning his seized lands and granting Yuya the title of Lord Knight, stunning him. Later, he rests in the palace. Utterly exhausted, Knight and Akatsuki observe as he falls asleep. Yuya's dream replays his unsettling encounter with the evil girl, evoking intense fear within him. The following day, he hastily departs after school, ignoring his friend's invitations and Kaori's offer to help him study. As he rushes home, thoughts of the prince's manipulation by the evil girl occupy his mind, along with memories of their initial meeting and her pursuit of the power of the vial. Upon arriving home, Yuya dons his warrior outfit and begins rigorous training in the forest, joined by Knight and Akatsuki. His determination stems from the belief that Master Usagi might hold insights into countering the power of the vial. He strives to equip himself for the challenges ahead. During their practice, Knight senses an approaching presence, signaling a potential threat. As anticipated, the evil girl, Yuti, emerges. Impressed by his evasion, she acknowledges his escape. Curious about her motives, Yuya demands an explanation for her actions. Undeterred by his inquiries, Yuti asserts that Yuya's presence poses a hindrance to her revenge. This revelation heightens Yuya's intrigue and determination to defeat her, hoping to unravel the larger mystery at play. Meanwhile, Kaori arrives at Yuya's home, compelled by the commotion echoing from the forest. Reminders of Yuya's warning about monsters stir in her mind as she approaches the source of the disturbance. Amidst the battle's intensity, Yuya hears Kaori's voice calling out his name. Her unexpected presence amidst the chaos raises questions about her involvement. Amid the ongoing skirmish, Kaori shares her perspective on him, steadfastly seeing him as the person who rescued her during their first meeting.